congratulations. I got to say, we're pretty excited to finally pin you down. What do these ceremonies mean to you, especially in your own hometowns? Tessa, why don't you start?
Well, thank you so much for having us. I'm a big fan of yours and of the show, so it's a pleasure to be on this morning. But it's really thrilling to go back into our hometowns. We've talked over, the last 2 decades really about the enormous support we've received. And it's true that home never leaves you, whether we're performing at the Bud Gardens to a sold-out crowd of Londoners, or we're taking the ice in Pyeongchang. We feel that support. We feel the love. It's always given us a boost, and we've always felt like it was a bit of an ace up our sleeves having such supportive communities to return home to.
What about for you, Scott? You're heading to a smaller town of Ilderton, of course.
Small but mighty. Yeah, we're very excited to be back in Ilderton. And both of us representing the Ilderton Skating Club for so long, it's fitting that we'll be back at the arena. And then there's always, it's probably still our favorite arena to train in still. So it'll be fun for Tessa and I to return. And it's a celebration for us today. To be honest, I'm really excited that I get to be there when Tessa gets her start, and obviously she needs to be there for when I get mine. I mean, our career is built together, and this is it's kind of funny that they're separate ceremonies, but I'm happy that we're together.
Do you still actually train at some points at that arena?
Well, we train wherever we can get ice usually, but Ilderton Arena is still one of our favorites. So
you've had some very big highs over your career. How do you match that? How do you match the energy from those highs?
It's such a good question. I think it's something that we're chasing now, and we probably will be for quite some time. The show that we're preparing to do this fall, Rock the Rink, will be touring Canada, west to east, heading into 30 or so cities. That comes close, but it's a different way to connect with an audience. We spent, so many years trying to appease 9 judges and trying to be good enough to win. And now it's more than that. We know what it feels like to be at our best, so we always strive for that. But it's more about connecting and engaging with an audience of thousands of people. And as we go from city to city, that adrenaline rush, really, I think we kind of got addicted to it last year just because there's freedom within it. There's fun, there's passion, and there's not quite the demands technically to perform at such a high level. So it's really, I feel so fortunate. Not many other amateur athletes get to transition so seamlessly.
Scott, what does your training schedule look like now compared to the last few years?
It was a little bit different, and Tessa talked about going on the Rock the Rink tour in the fall, and there'll be some substantial training that happens for that, and it's really exciting though. We get to build programs that are for 4,000 or 5,000 people instead of just 9 judges, so that creates some challenges for us, and we need to be ready for that and in shape. So, that's exciting actually, because we get to go back to the gym and get some of that structure back. It's been a busy year and a half, I guess, since the Olympic Games, and it's flown by in so many ways. So to prepare for an on-ice event like our tour or other tours, we did a tour in Japan in June as well, it kind of keeps our legs moving, but it also gets us back in doing what we love and then what is actually a little bit more comfortable for us.
I imagine your legs are always moving. I can't imagine that you have to get your legs moving.
Yeah, it's a little different. Sometimes when I first get back to training after a week or so off, you just have to get the mind going again more than anything. And there'll be times when Tessa and I get back on the ice and think, oh, yeah, we actually can still skate. We lose our confidence pretty quickly.
Or we just drink coffee and catch up.
Yeah. After that gold medal win in South Korea, you were on the circuit. Everybody wanted to talk to you. You were on Ellen. What was that like to be on the circuit and just everybody wanting a piece of you?
It's so interesting because when you're competing at the Olympics, you can insulate yourself into this little bubble. And while we knew that we had shared a moment with 14,000 or so people in the arena, and we assumed that, Canadians were following along, we didn't realize just the magnitude and scope of it all. So coming home, I have to say it was quite overwhelming, the ultimate whirlwind, but it was also really heartwarming and touching that so many people felt connected to our story and invested in who we were as people, and just being able to have that platform was really remarkable. And it's something I've been thinking a lot about as as we think and talk about this walk of fame and that last word, what does that mean? And really, it just means we're given a platform to set an example and hopefully inspire some people. And with that comes responsibility, but what an honor.
Tessa, you've been busy. You're the face of Dove soap. You've got your own Barbie doll. How important has, and for Scott too, how important has this life outside of skating been to you?
It's been really special to sort of step outside of my comfort zone and try new things, say yes. And to dive in and work with incredible organizations and some of these global brands has been such a great learning experience. I'm so interested in the business side of things, and I'm making sure that I'm not just posing with a product, for example. It's really understanding the strategy implementation, the marketing of it all, the ins and outs of the corporate structure, and I'm feeling like being thrust into that world has been so invigorating, and I just feel like I'm surrounded by people who have similar values, and when it comes down to it, then it's really easy to stand behind a company that I truly believe in.
Scott, before we let you go, I have to ask, what's after the fall tour? Do you return to competition? What's next?
That's a good question. I don't think we'll be returning to competition. It seems like probably our last day on competition has come and passed, but we need to, I guess, sit down and reevaluate. We haven't made an official announcement. We were hesitant to do that after 2014, and we all know what happened then, coming back from Pyeongchang. But that's, I would say, in the highly unlikely department.
But you're not ruling it out.
Yeah, almost everything but. But when we are absolutely sure, we will definitely make an announcement. Or we just always feel like we need to have something to announce, and not knowing what we're going to do next, I don't think is quite an announcement. But for Tessa and I, we're getting a lot of fulfillment on the ice out of that tour, out of being able to go across Canada and celebrate Canadian skating with Canadian and international fans that come and join us. So after that tour, there's a lot of exciting things coming up. It's exciting for Tessa and I both because we have some things that we work on together and things that we work on separately. And getting back together for that tour is always so exciting because we're most comfortable working with each other. As Tessa talked about, pushing ourselves, getting kind of outside of our comfort zone has been kind of a big focus for us. And making sure we do that, that's probably what's going to be in the new year as well.
Okay. Tessa and Scott, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, and have fun today. Enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
That is Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir. They will be both honored today in separate Canada Walk of Fame ceremonies.